things. This is The Pitfalls of Probes, Our Earthly Ethical Principles Lost in Space by Helen Smith. This is the curmudgeon corner by AI and Society, which we've read many a time here. They vary in quality sometimes, but sometimes they're good, sometimes they're less good. But like I was just saying to chat, we had someone arguing that basically we shouldn't go out into space because evolution is like red in tooth and claw. It's just very painful. And so if we would export evolutionary life, that would be bad for the universe. But we're going to see what this is about. I don't know. It's like, you see, it's, 2 pages double column. Maybe we'll get through it fast. It's not ours. That's how all evolution is. That's how we define evolution. There might be other forms of life that act differently in the universe. Now, of course, they could be doing evolution like we understand it, but there could be other forms of stuff out, like, someplace else. So, who knows? Say you were in a place, like in a fantasy world where there was just more power, and it sustained life in a different way. Yes, that's a fantasy, and I'm just making shit up now, but, there could be some physical part of the universe where it's just a nicer place to live. It's just nice in that part of the universe. And if we were over there, we would have much nicer lives. It wouldn't be evolution, but it would be some other form of life that would be nice. Lunatic says, wouldn't the universe itself be evolving like life no matter where it is? Consistent adaptation. Yeah, we'd have to have different laws. But the universe is very big. Maybe there are different laws in different parts of the universe. They could also do what we are doing as we understand the world here. But that doesn't mean there couldn't be something, very far away that operates on slightly different rules. And that's just nicer to the life. It could happen. It's unlikely. But, it's extremely unlikely. But that doesn't rule it out. And so this is just a metaphysical argument. I know it's not scientific. I already called it a fantasy. Don't murder me. Yeah. So, the pitfalls of probes are our earthly ethical principles lost in space. And as per usual, if you've not been here, what we do is we read the stuff, we try to figure out what it has to say and if it's worth it, and then at the end of reading it, you get to rate it. We have an emote review, and you get to use these emotes, plus a vote meh, to rate the paper. So, you like your fantasy, not enough knee, though. Okay. Hey, what's up the way that life can suck? Yeah. Well, how is there more knee? Like, because your knee is always in pain? That's usually what I think. It's like when people ask me what I'm thinking, it's usually one of 3 things. It's usually my knees hurt, I'm hungry, or there was something like, man, that girl is good looking. Those are like generally my 3 thoughts that are going through my head. That's it. And it's usually because my knee hurts or I'm hungry. So, grand total of my normal thoughts. Ivan says you can design worlds to be nicer, but evolution is a search algorithm finding the edges of habitability, and if it finds the edges by killing off individuals and species. Yes. So again, there could be a part of the universe that just by dumb luck, because the universe is very, very big, and if the universe is infinite, then there almost certainly is a place that looks as if it were designed. So, but like a lot of weird shit happens if the universe actually is infinite in size. But like, that would be the thing. If the universe is big enough, there is a part of the universe that appears to be designed for like nice life. So, but like, that's definitely not here. We're not like happy with this. So yeah. Chochacho says, my 4th is, what country do I need to move to so my knee doesn't always hurt? Yeah, I wish I had an answer to that, Chochacho. Lunatic said it would have to be on a different plane of existence. Different rules would have different ripple effects. It wouldn't be subject to confinement in a certain area. It would be considered fundamental law of existence. Well, again, depending on the size of the universe, they could be very, 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 very far away, such that the laws, break down over the distances. That could happen. We could have distances that are just beyond everything we understand right now, and they could be in a, a parallel universe that we might only be able to get to in very unusual circumstances, but they're still connected every so often, and that prevents the laws over there from leaking into the laws over here. Who the hell knows? I don't care. But like I said, if you are willing to make the universe big enough, you can do this sort of thing. It's not a good argument. It's just, you can make it. Wow, that goth woman saying is big titties is a core part of the human experience across the ages. This is what I'm talking about. I'm not that complicated. Yeah, Lumpy, exactly. Lumpy gets it. It all costs money. I propose that if the universe is truly infinite, then there is an infinite number of Earths, an infinite number of each of us. Yeah, I mean, that's the problem. The universe could start to replicate also if the universe is infinite. Therefore, we are mostly immortal? Nah, who knows? I mean, then you could be talking about the unity of consciousness. And if there's no unity of consciousness over time, then you'd be infinitely dying. You wouldn't be infinitely, you wouldn't be immortal, you'd be infinitely dying. This part of the music gets loud. So yeah, the next thing is that we need a machine to make a machine to go to the universe where our knees don't hurt. Well, we're trying. I mean, we're going towards cyberpunk. Hopefully, we'll go towards cyberpunk where they can fix our knees with less pain than knee replacement surgery. Knee replacement surgery is not really that much fun. Hopefully, it'll get better in the future. We're getting to we're going sort of cyberpunky. We're getting there. So anyway, as per usual. If you have any questions about the paper, let me know. If you have any questions about what I said, let me know. And here we go. So we'll find out if this is any good. You tell me. A common context in sci-fi is the exploration of the potential horrors that could be inflicted on we Earthlings if extraterrestrials decide to drop by. War of the Worlds described our jealous Martian neighbors attempting to plunder our resources, which fitted the cosmic horror awaiting us of things which we cannot comprehend. However, instead of adversarial or Lovecraftian entities, should we be more concerned by cosmic pessimism? Simply, the existence of any life forms out in the universe, us included, is entirely insignificant. The vast cosmos is heedlessly and unconsciously indifferent to any living thing. This is already how I think it is. I don't see why I should care any more than I do. Like, I already assume that the universe does not care about me. Hopefully we can get rid of religion at one point. Yeah, it's gonna be a while still. Globus says, to paraphrase Ferris Bueller, you're not infinitely dying, you just can't think of anything good to do. Yeah, I mean, that's basically how it would be. I agree with Globus and Ferris. O'Neill says, I was in touch with the guy researching AI cartilage for knee, or artificial cartilage for knee. Unfortunately, hasn't gotten very far when it could have helped my mom, on whose behalf I was asking. Yeah, so, like, we're going to get there. They are doing this research. And, I'm hoping, like, in the near future, there's, like, going to be some significant breakthroughs with all these things that are, like, rather painful. But we're just not there yet, or you have to be, like, super wealthy to, like, get all the newest bleeding edge tech. Damien says, we just have to harvest the stem cells to repair a knee. It's totally moral and not gray. Yeah, of course not. Engineer Duke, yeah. Yeah, Luna, good luck arguing that. Oh, okay. We have been all too aware of this when we have faced merciless acts of nature throughout human history. Whilst many of these events have been outside of our sphere of influence, for example, volcanoes or tsunamis, we've recognized that the causal factors that we can control, like CFCs, CO2 emissions affecting the environment, and where we can instigate behavioral change for the good of ourselves, our environments, and other life forms with which we share the Earth. But that only happens when and where we recognize that our actions matter. Yeah, so we have to do stuff. Strugatsky and Strugatsky 2023 used their novel Roadside Picnic to the sticky messes that could be easily left behind should we ever have interstellar visitors. They describe a situation synonymous with a human picnic. Picture a forest, a country road, a meadow. Cars drive off the country road into the meadow. A group of young people get out carrying bottles, baskets of food, transistor radios, and cameras. They light fires, pitch tents, turn on the music. In the morning, they leave. The animal, birds, and insects that watched in horror through the long night creep out from their hiding places. And what do they see? Old spark plugs and old filters strewn around, rags, burnt out bulbs, a monkey wrench left behind, and of course, the usual mess. Apple cores, candy wrappers, charred remains of the campfires, cans, bottles, somebody's handkerchief, somebody's penknife, torn newspapers, coins, faded flowers, picked in another meadow. Ooh, citing the Strugatsky brothers, you got my attention. Well, there we go. Yeah, so far, this person has not fallen into any of the easy traps that we've seen. Some of the people writing here, they are scientists attempting to do philosophy. This person looks like they are, well, I mean, if they're doing sci-fi, then they may be more on the literary side of things, which is interesting. And we haven't seen, like, I don't know who this Helen Smith is, but we haven't seen a more literary take. I think no, she's a philosopher. I've read stuff on stream by Helen Smith because she's in Bristol Center for Ethics in Medicine. She's a philosopher in Bristol. We've read stuff by her. Yeah, this is a philosopher of ethics. So yeah, we've read God. It was a while back. Like, I'd have to search philosophy roulette. Let me see if I'm right. Search. Yes. Philosophy roulette 194. 194. Yeah. Look at that. Helen Smith. That's a fucking while back. Algorithmic bias. Should students pay the price? Damn, 3 years ago. That's crazy. This is crazy. I mean, like, damn. Copy clean link. So, yeah. If you want to see the other things by Helen Smith that I've reviewed, there you go. Man. Okay. So, this is a proper philosopher. Hey, what's up, Adam? How you doing? Lumpy says, now that's so interesting. Keep busy is a good way to keep entertained and put down the angst of human condition. On the other hand, I know many people who keep busy just for that, to run ahead of the deadly anxiety about big metaphysical questions usually around the death of loved ones. Beyond that, pausing the activity buzz to take a moment to ponder the orbs that has been described as good living by many. Yeah, but then again, I mean, the unexamined life is not worth living. I mean, wasn't that Socrates who got himself killed by the state? Ignorance is bliss is on the other side. Yeah, so I'm not. The jury is still out on what the best life is. Unreal says some of the Central Eastern European sci-fi gets pretty philosophical. Stanislaw Lem is a great example, but there are others. Yeah, I tried reading something by Stanislaw Lem, but I saw where it was going. I got angry and I stopped reading it. Yeah. Yeah. What's up, Rencoin? How you doing? Okay, So yeah, we're talking a little sci-fi and what happens in the universe, and are we the cosmic horrors to the ants? In the Strugatsky brothers' account narrates how we, like wildlife, would be enticed to investigate any abandoned detritus, but to what effect? Socially, the costs borne by society in this story were immense. Entire communities located in the visited zones need to be relocated due to deposits of substances such as hell slime, dissolving humans on contact, and the genetic mutations of eventuating in the offspring of those who ventured into the zones despite the dangers. Reading some black existential, good stuff. Lem Solaris may be your favorite novel. Tarkovsky's film was also great, but completely different from the book. Yeah, I should probably read Solaris. Yeah. Okay, we're Luna and Tinderis are discussing stuff. Yeah. You're stockpiling hobbies for that. Your buddies and I are already planning to have an infinite LAN parties when we live on the same retirement house. And then you'll have time for our diaper exchanges. Yeah. I mean, thankfully, I don't really have that bad existential crises. I know enough of the philosophy that I be like, I know where the problems are with having an existential crisis. But, yeah. Okay. And that's a good, yeah, Globus is with, Lumpy. You retire, you have your time for your hobbies. I already have hobbies. It's like, I just wish I could afford to do them all the time. Like, people be like, yeah, you retire and you don't know what to do. Please, I wish I could retire. Then I could just waste all my time, like, doing philosophy. I mean, I'm still considering going back to school. Not because I like school. Not because I want to be an academic. I fucking hate these things mostly. But if someone wants to pay me to sit around and do them because I'm getting fucking good at it, I'm considering taking the money at this point. Yeah. 12%. Well, that's, hey, better, you're getting there. I mean, what is it? A little over 1/8 of the way. Yeah. Like just under 1/8 of the way. That's not bad. Yeah, 400 years of retirement of books, yeah. Okay. Arguing the religion in my chat. Wow. Okay. This story doesn't tell us why these off-worlders chose to drop in, but we might take a moment to compare them to our own intentions. Are we the cosmic horror that visits others? Yeah, I mean, are we scaring the shit out of the animals? I was on a walk today. There was a family of Canadian geese. Like, there were 2 adults and 2 kids. And they were blocking the path sometimes. So I tried to wait for them to get out of the way. And one time when I walk around them, one of the babies started taking off in the wrong direction away from the parents. And the goose got angry with me. I'm like, it's not my fault the baby ran away from you. And I like had to like take a loop around so that the baby wouldn't be afraid and would come back. But the goose was honking at me and like hissing at me. And I'm like, I was trying to exactly avoid this situation by but the kid ran off stupid gooseling ran off in the wrong direction. I was like, I'm sorry. Don't yell at me. I'm sorry. Yes, we're the cosmic horrors to the animals. Like this, I already agree with this person, but like this is all set up anyway. Helen knows what she was doing. I remember, she's a good philosopher. Be like Keynes and get like massive endowment from the University of Employment, go nuts investing in that way you don't need to worry about ever working in. Yeah, geese will fuck me up. Can't even imagine NYC geese. They're Canadian geese. Like, yeah, they're not in like the city area. This was in a park, but like, yeah, the Canadian geese will fuck you up too. Yeah. Okay. Well, then you guys are arguing semantics, Luna. So we'll see. If you don't believe, then you're just arguing the definitions of God. So. But again, then it's like, I don't know if what religious people mean by God and then people who are non-religious mean by it is usually not the same. All right. The way that life can suck, geese are jerks. I faced off with one. I wouldn't have heard it, but my front was stronger than his. Yeah, well, your foot maybe. Yeah. I mean, I didn't want to fight the goose. It was getting annoyed with me when I was too close to its kid ball. Like, it's not my fault. Okay, our civilization is filled with explorers. We want to know what's out there so that we can increase our collective knowledge and, as a result, understand more about our own place in the universe. Ideally, we would choose to routinely travel to the moon, Mars, and beyond to personally perform observations of our local and more distant solar and galactic neighborhood. But it is difficult to send delicate humans with our tight environmental tolerance limits and complex nutritional, social, psychological needs. Instead, we send our robotic representatives to roam wherever we're interested, and we're getting good at sending AI-controlled autonomous systems out to remote environments to act on our behalf. Probes have been sent to every planet in our solar system and Mars, and our Mars rover has been successfully transmitting observations and collecting samples awaiting collection for the last few decades. Since the successful of the original Voyager, Pioneer, and New Horizons programs, we are once again working out how to leave our solar system via initiatives such as Breakthrough Starshot. The trouble is, even though the impact on the locations that our probes visit, of which we are all causally responsible, is lessened without our personal presence, it isn't eliminated entirely. We cannot collect and responsibly dispose of the passive remnants of our expired equipment that are outside our reach. The number of items abandoned, such as parachutes from planetary rovers, discarded rocket boosters, and Elon Musk's orbiting Tesla, ever increases, but so does our inquisitiveness, especially for those places entirely outside our personal travel range, of which we know nothing about. Yeah, I mean, this is a problem. We are messy as fuck. So much space junk. Yeah, it's going to be a problem. As tech becomes more complex and self-determining, we will find ourselves sending robotic probes which increasingly resemble space venturing Swiss Army knives, capable of exploring any environment encountered, but also having the functionality needed to evolve their responses to meet novel and unpredictable environmental conditions. This functionality will be essential as we won't be there to tell the robot what to do. If we don't permit it to solve problems independently, then we will have to accept that the use of time in missions will be less efficient thanks to the communication latency accompanying long-distance missions. And this is what I mean, she knows what she's doing here. She just made a very plausible case of exactly why we're going to equip these things with AI, and we're going to be putting AI into situations where we have no idea what's going to happen. When we send stuff very far away, we really don't know what the universe is like outside of our little bubble here. And although we can plausibly make some guesses, the whole point of sending the probe is that we don't actually know. And so that, like, by definition, we're going to be sending something and we need it to be able to make decisions without us. And so right here, she at least is able to, compared to the moron we had in chat, explain exactly what's going to happen when we want to send a probe to a foreign place. We're going to have to give it decision-making capabilities. We already give it certain decision-making capabilities. That's built into any, computer program. That's just what a robot is. It's already, by the nature of how it exists does certain things and not other things. I mean, and you can call that decision making. Like, they all have joints. I have an elbow joint, but like my elbow does not extend past here. You can say, well, is that a decision? Well, yeah, the motion that I can make, given like getting bumped, will not go this way, but it will go this way. And you can say, well, how is that a decision? It is a decision. Like, that's what the range of motion is. And so we're just going to keep doing this more and more. No, yeah, but see, Ivan, I'm not saying don't send it. I'm just saying you have to understand it's already done. Like, this decision's already been made by the way we're doing it, and it's not going to stop. So it's like, this isn't a problem, but we do have to talk about it. Whole load of uncertainty, yeah. Yeah, bunch of littering monkeys throwing their crap at the universe. Yeah, that's us. Throwing their poo, that's what monkey do. Okay. Whoa, that's a huge ship. That is a kind of a nice ship. Enterprise. Oh, wait, is that a reward? Oh my god, thank you for the giant emote. So it doesn't show up on my what I'm normally looking at, but shows up in the other one. Thanks, Ivan. To boldly litter where no one has littered before. Yeah. Okay. This future might not be as far away as we think. For example, the auto navigation system aboard NASA's Martian rover Perseverance allows it to quote unquote think whilst it's driving. Yeah. This is what I mean. All these programs already have maybe not artificial or automatic like intelligence that like makes autonomous intelligence, but it has the game knowledge, the programming knowledge built into the program. So it might be doing things we've already told it to do, but in a novel situation. So it already has this sort of, intelligence built in. All right, so Auto Nav enables Perseverance to travel further in less time whilst autonomously replanning its route to avoid obstacles such as rocks when driving through complex terrain rather than spending weeks having to avoid them. This autonomy offers an economy not only on the scientist's time when running rover operations, but also on the wear and tear of the vehicle, which was a problematic factor in Curiosity rover's earlier mission. Yeah, so again, it's already done. Now, will it be running over some like small plant in some place? We don't know, but like it says, oh, there's a rock there. I got to go around this way. Who knows what it's running over? But like again, it's already got AI built in. Well, we're either alone or not. Both are terrifying and history-filled technological superior power taking over a weaker one. Yeah, I mean that's the history of the Earth and like human history. So, yeah. I'm really not that fussed about it. If they're rational, I hope they're, kind of nice. If they're not, but like, they come in, they take over, I hope they're rational. At least that means some civilization will continue. And if we're not worth their time, I hope they'll just leave us alone. And they won't just steal our resources. I mean, it really depends how much resources there are in the universe. They may not care about us. That's really how I feel. It's like we're just not that important to come out where we are to like talk to us. I mean, it's the old joke. The best evidence for intelligent life in the universe is that it has never attempted to contact us. The old George Carlin. Okay. The greater the divide between us and our instruments, the harder it is to employ comprehensive and direct human observation, augmented by real-time critical thinking in our missions. I really doubt that we're their nearest Walmart. Yeah, exactly. Like, why are they bothering with us fucking stupid poo-throwing monkeys? Like, I don't see anyone coming out here. We're not that interesting. Like, and if they come out here, they're going to send a probe. It's going to be like, a safari. Hey, look at the silly little monkeys. And then they'll leave. The more remote we are from the physical effects of our robots on any pristine, faraway environment, the greater the risk that we might actually damage or destroy that which we sent out at great expense to find. We will have primed our robots to recognize life as we currently recognize it on Earth, as a direct adjunct to those life forms whom we already know, but life might not be present itself in the terms that we've historically found it. We live in a dark forest. Be quiet or they will hear you and eat you. Yeah, exactly. Alien smiley is cringe. Was there an alien smiley I didn't say? This means we might not be able to reliably train our probes to recognize novel life forms. Our lack of physical presence on location additionally prevents us from instantly critically analyzing what we encounter, the result that our mechanical counterparts might not recognize the importance of what occupies where they tread until it is too late. With all the U.S. Air Force sightings of UFOs, I prefer your reason. Humanity is the Detroit of the universe, and ET cruises by us with all the doors locked. Yeah, either way. Like, that works too. Luke says, hey, Luke, I think a society also needs to value cooperation to a certain degree in order to get to the point of interstellar technology capability in the first place. Yeah, that's why I think we are more like ants to them. They come by... They're not interested in taking our stuff any more than we really want to go and, like, take ants' food. We don't want the ant food. We don't care about ant food. Like, that's fine. Leave the ant food to the ants, unless they're, like, termites in your house. Then you kick them out. But, like, that's how I figure. Like, they're not going to be talking to us. One of the answers to, what is it, the Fermi paradox, why is there no aliens? Why don't we find them? Is because... to find aliens that actually want to talk to us would have to mean that they have something to talk to us about. And the chance of someone evolving the capabilities and the tech to talk to us at the exact same time in the universe is low. Chances are they evolved before us or they evolve after us. And then it's always like, well, there's no point in talking to some, even if they're rational, but they're just so dumb compared to us. Organism, it's like, well, just leave them be and then they'll grow up eventually on their own too. So it's like there's no point in talking. And that's one of the answers to the Fermi paradox. It's not that there's no aliens, it's that there's no aliens worth talking to when you finally get to the point of interstellar travel, that you have to wait for other aliens to be interstellar traveling, but either they already are well beyond you or they're well behind you. Yeah. Holocaust Mike says, I think it'd be funny and would approve if aliens showed up and took all of the trees and left. That'd be sad. That'd just be so sad. We need the trees for, like oxygen and shit. Okay, without supervisory telepresence to prevent harm from happening in real time, we risk being idle observers, perceiving remotely what the given device's algorithm did not, and cringing whilst we witness the outcome of our robot naively trundling over a previously undiscovered delicate life form. Hey, Primo, it's over on Kick. Shouldn't they wipe us out before we become a problem? Why would we become a problem to a more advanced society? We'd only be a problem to a society that's relatively close to us, and the chance of us running into a society that is technologically nearby, given the timescales in the universe, is really small. So the idea that, like, there's another species out there that is close to us in technology is very unlikely also. So yeah. Who's to say they even could? Language is wildly different from one part of the world to another. We're talking different species that evolved under a different rule set. Yeah. So, the idea that we can predict what aliens are going to do, you're right. It's like, it's all fantasy. So, and I don't love the, solution that I said to the Fermi paradox, where you're just like, you can never seem to match up time scales. But, like, it does lend some plausibility that we just aren't, like, we can't talk to anybody because there's no one using our tech at the exact same time we're looking for it. We don't have a very easy way to transmit data. Well, we only can go at the speed of light, and it's not, our transmissions really aren't reaching very far in the universe. The way life can suck says, the only just communication, there might still be evidence of their existence. Yeah, but again, if they are well beyond us technologically, that's the same problem. Could we even recognize very advanced technology? I'm not sure that we could. It might be too small, might be too easy to avoid. The idea that their probes will look like our probes is unlikely. It would just be something... Like, if I showed a cell phone to someone 2,000 years ago, and we're talking, let's say, someone in ancient Greece who's already living in a city and has, like, like a decent quality of life, they would have no fucking clue what a cell phone is. They'd be like, it's a shiny rock. It's like, okay, what's your shiny rock do? And you'd, like, beep boop on it. They'd be like, oh, it's a shiny rock that makes noise and has colors. They wouldn't get it. It's like, I don't know if we would even get future technology. And this is only 2,000 years. Try 2 millennia. of technological. I mean, yeah, not 2 million, like 200,000 years of like technological difference, something like that. Like life forms from the planet Nestle. Careful, they don't steal your water. Manalcos Mike says there's a recent paper about how the data may show that there are some Dyson spheres out there. I saw the headline about that. That would be really cool if there actually are dead spots every so often in the universe, because that would mean like that somebody was there at some point. That would be super fucking cool if that's true. Would we be able to communicate with aliens if we did find? Well, that's the problem. If they're more advanced to us, then they'd have to like want to talk to us, or else they might not bother. And if they're like us compared to ants, then again, we can't talk to ants. It wouldn't even be worth us to try, or we'd like just futz with them, but they wouldn't understand. Well, most UAPs or UFOs just turn out to be lens flare planes. Yeah, just very yeah, most of it's just silly. Yeah. So Nestle Corporation of Aliens, yes, water stealing aliens, Rencoin. I always call you Renicoin. For some reason, I switched the A and the C. Rencoin. Yeah. All right. Even though we would physically have been on Earth, we'll know that we caused harm and we won't be able to rectify it ourselves. Yeah. We hope to find other civilizations in the universe, but we are extremely unlikely to run into life forms at every location. So if extraterrestrials aren't going to hold us to account for our actions off Earth, why care about this? The chances of us encountering ET might be phenomenally low, but we won't have a good sense of what is valuable in each remote environment until our probe arrives and observes it for us. Implicitly, the intrinsic value of both our exploration and that which we might find is high. That's why we've sent the robot in the first place. Adam says, late in the 70s, U.S. sent Space Voyager Golden Record, 2 golden records containing information about humanity. Yeah, it's possible. I mean, that's Star Trek riffed off that. You know, somebody found Voyager, went to some part of the universe, got smart, returned. Sort of like, aliens, tech, all sorts of shit. So, yeah, I mean, it could all happen. It's just, most of this is just fantasy. There is no point in exploring if we don't venture forth with the intention of valuing what we find, be it a pretty rock or a newly discovered space moss. Purely by virtue of having expended time and resources in going, we will value whatever we find, even if we are not there directly appreciate it ourselves. Part of expressing value for that, or even those that we find out there, will be intentionally avoiding causing harm to it or them. Our anthropocentric activities on Earth make us feel that the entire contents of the universe are ours to do with as we see fit, thereby permitting us to allow robots free reign to roam on our behalf and to allow them to remain where they fall when they cease to operate. However, what will be found in our outer space is anyone's guess. To help us balance our own self-propelling desire to survey otherworldly domains against the interests of those already resident there, we could look to Kant. No, we're not looking to Kant. We don't like Kant. Well, maybe she likes Kant. Oops, wrong way. Referencing Kant, who suggests that we act only in accordance with that maxim, through which you can, at the same time, will it become a universal law. How the fuck? Damn it, Helen. The problem is the universe is too big. How would we know what the universal law is for aliens? How do we know that they're the same as us? That what they will for it to be universal is the same as what we will to be universal. This is the problem. This has always been the problem with Kant. Kant treated animals badly. Kant treated other races badly because he saw them as subhuman. It only counted for the people you thought were human, that were rational like you. You can't actually judge for other people because he didn't think they were rational humans. Like, he didn't think, like Africans were fucking rational because he was a racist piece of crap. He was only the white male European or whatever. Like, it's insane. And so this is why you don't reference this crap, because it's bad. It only sounds good. Categorical imperative is junk. Yes. This is, and the worst part about this, referencing this here right now, is that, what's the 3 laws? Not I Am Legend. It's, the Philip K. Dick, I think. This sort of thing is abusable, and it's been abused especially in the sci-fi literature. When you make rules like this, there are ways around rules like this. And so, yeah, iRobot, thank you, Ivan. Isaac Asimov, thank you. Yeah, the 3 laws. This is iRobot, Isaac Asimov and the 3 laws. When you make rule-based systems, they are abusable, and the worst part is she's referencing sci-fi stuff, and the sci-fi people already know this. Classic sci-fi now at this point. Yeah, Asimov's robot novels, exactly. And so this is why I don't, this is why I'm not Kantian for stuff like this. I'm not Kantian in general, but like this is a real problem here, because this should be at least both philosophically and sci-fi canon based a no-go. Yeah, okay. Oh well. So I disagree with Helen, but that's all right. Let's just finish it up. Additionally, employing Strugatsky's brother's flipped narrative helps us to recognize that, if not very carefully orchestrated, our own intentions and goals, even those as enacted by the autonomous systems that we send, have the potential to threaten the well-being of our as yet unidentified cosmic neighbors, the same as their actions would be to us as if the tables were turned. Our earthly fundamental ethical principles, such as doing no harm, can be translated into our off-Earth activities. Practicing our own principles might even encourage others. She actually has an alien emote in icon here. I don't know if you can see it. To be considerate and delicate when they choose to call on us. The corresponding author states that there's no conflicts of interest. Okay. Sorry, I gotta go back. Alright, so we've got the laws of robotics from Unreal. First law, a robot may not injure a human being or through inaction allow a human being to come to harm. Second law, a robot must obey the orders given to it by human beings, except where such orders would conflict with the first law. The third law, a robot must protect its own existence as long as such protection does not conflict with the first or second law. The no-go here now is just a character attack. Yeah. Yeah. Can you break that sentence in normal terms? Like, at the same time, will it become a universal law? What does that mean? Okay, so this is the Kantian dialogical categorical imperative. So it's called the categorical imperative. And the idea is that should everyone act in this way, every rational being on Earth, like Kant says you should never lie because the world would be better if no one lied on Earth. So if you could universalize it for every rational being should just tell the truth and you should not lie, then that would be a universal law. So only act in accordance with the maxim through which you can at the same time will it become a universal law. This is for all people, all rational beings. You should not lie because the world would be better. Who the fuck knows if actually the world would be better? But this is what he says. Like no murder, because if we were just all willfully murdering each other, everyone can agree that that's bad. And he thinks that if you're a rational human being, you will realize that murder is bad, lying is bad, and it would be bad for everyone, and so it'd be better if no one did it. And that's all. Yeah. Aesthetic points for the alien emoji in the paper, yeah. I mean, this is just an editorial. We can't, like, give Helen too much crap for this. What it means, Kant says whatever principle used to define action, and everyone else, yeah. The version used in the paper did not make that clear. It's true. You sound like curmudgeon. Yeah, well, all philosophers are curmudgeons. It's true. That's some college low-dose mushroom shit. Yeah. Yes, exactly. It all costs money. That's the problem with Kant. And that's the problem, like, I mean, I'm not a Kantian. Our buddy Aris, if you go to the other philosophy streams and ask the question, you know, Prof is somewhat Kantian. He knows the problems, though. He's not like he's, like, blindly Kantian. But, like, if you go to, like, the Kantators, like myself or Aris, these are the sorts of problems. It's too easily abused. It doesn't really make sense. But yeah, and this is why it's like it sounds like an easy answer. It's like so low dose mushroom shit is like yeah, that's a good way to put it. It's not a utopia. You're a bit of an ex-Kantian, yeah. You have a acquaintance as a philosophy professor and a full-on Kantian, yeah. So if you want to talk about this, I'm sure they'd be more than happy to do it. But again, what do you do with the philosophy is usually the, I mean, in the end, what are you doing with it? And that's the question here. What do you think about the paper? What did she do with the philosophy here? She's trying to get people to realize that even if we send probes out, we're not going to have the opportunity to, like, do no harm. The idea that we're going to do no harm, that's already a foregone conclusion with the way our probes are already set up. So yeah, You missed the grapes arriving. You just no grapes, not nog grapes. There you go. Yeah, too shallow, 2 pages. Well, it's an editorial, and it's meant to be. It's not meant to be anything great. So you can vary it up. Whoa, that was the whole paper. Yeah. This is just an editorial in what's it called? Just the editorial in AI and Society, and we read them sometimes. This is Oh yeah, as anyone who's new here, like we've got a bunch of people in chat. We have all these emotes here. If you thought it was a fun ideas, gave you some stuff to think about, throw it a brain dance. And you have to, capitalization and spelling matter here. I don't, like if you misspell it, it doesn't get recorded. Grapes is like if you think it's for big claims that shrivel up. A lot of times in philosophy, they say they're going to do something, they don't actually do it. Or they don't argue for it. Nog navel gazing. This isn't really that navel gazing. This was written for a more general thing. Again, it was an editorial. Nogoro and Ouroboros for deep ancient ideas. Nog stream, existential artistic drama. Nog turd, all style no substance, still poop underneath. Nog knife for slicing and dicing arguments. And then there's the global emotes, vote yay and vote nay. And then also my emote, vote meh. So yeah. You want more from it, Udemy? Oh, yeah, sure. Rencoin gave it a knife and a brain dance. Eudaimonia gave a brain dance. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to give it a brain dance too. Like for an editorial and quoting some sci-fi, it didn't do a bad job to at least motivate interest in the subject, So it's going to get a brain dance. What else are we going to give it? I don't love the Kant. I mean, this is just going to be, like, there was one good argument, like I pointed to. Like, I thought this argument here, the way, like, I know you can't see behind it, but this was the spot where I said, the argument that we've already built, the way our technology is already built, we're already letting it make decisions for us, even if it's not like the current generation of AI. The older generation of computer software design already is making some sort of autonomous decisions without us, and therefore is already having the opportunity to make ethical decisions without us. Can't even, yeah. There. So it's gonna get a brain dance and maybe a vote meh. I mean, it just kind of hand waved at this stuff. Considered added to your review, yeah. I mean, just me hating on Immanuel Kant is not enough to add another emote. But yeah, thank you all for Rencoin, Eudaimonia, Unreal Brian, so Unreal gave it a scream for first step in talking about this. Much more to do, yeah. So, I mean, there you go. What do you want me to argue for, Cosmo? You have to give me a topic. Yeah, so let me know. What else? Like, yeah, so, and everyone in chat, you're welcome to rate, so go ahead. Let me know. Kant's categorical imperative. Okay. Argue some deontology. Let me think. I haven't had to do this in a while. Well, the easiest way to argue for deontology in general is just to tell you how ludicrous the other options are. Because it is somewhat simple and you can figure it out, it's actually not that bad. Because compared to utilitarianism, which has the problem of being overburdening, there's no actual way to figure out what utility is. Who actually knows what the outcomes are? The whole point of this paper is in the universe, we don't know what the outcomes are going to be. So you need a rule-based system to at least give you a heuristic. There is no way to understand, even on Earth, what the outcomes are going to be, let alone in the stars. And so you need a rule-based heuristic, which Kant gives you in this universalizable sort of rule-based system to at least guide your actions when you're in a new situation. Because if you're in a new situation and you're trying to find out the most good, you can't do that because there is no good when you're on a foreign planet when you don't know stuff. So you need to give it a bit more of a simplistic notion of like, okay, simple rules to follow, like universalizability, that you say, okay, me, them, something else, you try to split the difference here because you don't know what it's going to be. And then if you want to give it to like virtues, no one fucking knows what a goddamn virtue is. No one has any idea what the metaphysics of like, oh yeah, like a virtues in a computer, please. So like you don't go there because that doesn't even make like, you can't even parse that. So if you're gonna like actually want to be serious about how we might think about dealing with interstellar ethics, the only thing we can do is deal with like sort of some sort of like, you know, adaptive deontological scheme, which would be based on the categorical imperative. How is that it all costs money? Adam says, Kant himself held conflicting views on what he found his ethical principles. First, it was a rationalist view, then a more Platonic view of an idealist view of how a perfect idealized being should act, and then he grounded it in the will of idealized kingdom of ends. Okay, so 60 seconds left. Anyone else want to get stuff in? Yeah. So, again, the historical, like this is called the genetic fallacy. Just because it was argued for some way in the past or what Kant said, that doesn't mean we have to follow all those rules now. We can look back with hindsight and decide. But of course, yeah, if he was inconsistent, so what? Maybe we have better rules now. But yes, of course, he tried certain things. You know, people argue with him. He come up with new ideas. It doesn't work. It doesn't work.